tankers of Blitz Universe. New Moon is about to kick off in a few hours and we have a review of the Glacial 112. One of the two tanks you can earn in this grinding event again. This is a tier 8 heavy resembling, and I quote wargaming, a block of ice. It has two snowdragons along the sides with their heads winding around the turret. The tank's gun, decorated by frost, is similar to that of its Fury brother, but the tank's speed is slower. The main feature of the Glacial 112 is its solid turret front armor 240mm. And you can see it in this encounter already. The gun is similar, all well and good, but that means you also have trouble penetrating the fronts of IS-6s, IS-3s, etc. Without spamming a bit of heat in the process, because 175mm of penetration doesn't really cut it at this tier. Wow, 1 hit point. Why? That said, we are with the cube, the ice cube, on desert sands, not really resembling a block of ice, or we would be melting down very, very hard. But you can see we have more heavies than the red team, and that's why we pushed into the city over here. And that's what this tank is, in my mind, all about. It's about pushing hard. The front is rock hard, turret armor, as said, 240mm. The front plate is 120 and it's slightly sloped, but the sides are weaker than the IS-3 and the IS-6, which means that you will have problems if people approach you on the sides. I think the likes of comets, etc., if they can keep going around you, or on RU-251, they will make short work of you. They will get their shots in quick, and they'll probably be able to wreck you to pieces in literally minutes. Because the tank hasn't got big DPM, it's solid DPM, it's not very much. And as said, 175mm on your AP round isn't very good. Other than that, a solid tier 8 heavy, massive, and I mean massive credit earning potential. I have a game which I sadly didn't record. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. Snapshot, thank you. But I wasn't. 4.8k damage on the Glacial on Port Bay. Got a valiant effort ace and of course some extra extra credits done, and we picked up 147 total. Fired a bit of heat where we really needed to get the kill shots in on T44s and a T54 lightweight, but 147 is massive. We are chasing down a Centurion. He bounces off our side. That's something you can do fairly well in this tank. Side scrape. What am I doing here? I don't know. I'm trying to shoot, but looking up. Sweaty fingers. We are immobilized, but you can see it over here. If you face hug tanks, and we're gonna see that later in the armor profiles, then you are a bit in trouble because it negates the 120mm front. It flattens it out, and that flattening means that tier 8 mediums will have no problem penning it with APCR or even AP rounds. We'll see that later as we take a look at the armor profile. 3.7k damage, high caliber mastery game to kick off this review, and here we have the statistics, efficiency and the credits, which of course is a big thing for a premium vehicle. 133k and 90k net income after all the bits have been deducted. Stats and numbers now. I'm comparing the Glacial to the IS-6, the Defender, the Tiger II, the T-32, the Carnarvon, the KV-4 and the T-34. As you can see, solid penetration values, but a lot of the tanks do it better. You fire AP, you do 400 alpha, and you are a bit of the weak link in this tank. If, however, we switch to heat, premium ammunition, a lot of the numbers become different. You have 270 penetration, which is good. The same obviously on the IS-6 and on the Defender, pretty much the same gun. Well, pretty much the same gun. You can't really duke it out with a Tiger II or T-32 or a Carnarvon. They have a lot better in terms of gun handling. The T-34 is was the American heavy tank. You can see it here. Traverse, pretty good. Better than any of the other tanks in the tier, and especially if you compare it to the IS-6 and IS-3 Defender. Those are the tanks that are alike, in my opinion, to the Glacial 112. Armor profile, same as well. You can see it 240 and 120 on the front. The sides, a lot of the tanks do it a bit better. Carnarvon is the weak one in that regard. And the Carnarvon was also the weak one in terms of alpha, but it has an enormous rate of fire, which means you will want to hit the shots you fire with the Glacial 112. And you want to be facing front like 90% of the time. Not straight up front as said, because that will show your weak spot. You have two cupolas on top, the commander's hatches and the loader's hatches. Those are big weak spots. The IS-6 is a better tank in that regard because it has a flat turret top, but the hatches aren't as pronounced as on the Glacial. And we are up on mines, as you can see. We are driving up the hill on mines, as you can see. And we are going to find the enemy, as you will see. And our IS-8 teammate, he is in trouble because he gets shot once, twice, 3 times a lady, and here you can see it. Bounced off. Bad penetration values on the front of tier 8 heavies. 175mm just isn't gonna cut it. It will cut through the sides of other tier 8 tanks and tier 9 tanks as well. IS-8. Yes, I am a Glacial noob. But this is a test account and I have no trouble driving it in a public game. For all your viewing pleasure and for you to make an educated guess on what tank you want to get. Snapshot on the E75, we track him in place and he gets hammered by a few of the other tanks, which is good, which gives us a lot of assistance damage. Switching to heat, side shot into the IS-3, and they are rushing down and I have no idea why they did that. This is something you will want to do, in my opinion, in the Glacial. Try to get spots where you can hide the lower glacis and show the frontal turret. It's in that regard a bit of a hold down tank, not with good gun depression, but it works. So why not do it? And you can see it over here as I switch from AP to heat. Heat will go through if shot on the whole sides, but AP, it just doesn't cut it at tier 9. That side of the IS-8, it was all red and pinkish and all the colors you don't want to see. Another engine fire, which is good, on the T26E4. I was slowly working our way up here, trying to shoot the E4. Nope, sorry, that's we just dinged them, unfortunately. But we have a big angel on the shoulders, T95 at the back, which is good. And that's why we are just sitting here trying to spot targets and trying to be slightly annoying. And we're rolling back again, wary of the tanks on top. There is still a Jagdtiger who's pushing up probably now. T54, T95 finish off the E4. There's a Proto. Hello, Proto. 419 into your left side. VK moving in because we are rolling back. And this AP shot glances off the front of the T28 Proto, as you can see here. Like I said, again, it just doesn't cut it. 175mm of AP rounds. The size of a tank can be panned easily by that VK45 O2A. He has way better gun handling than me. But they are 2 tanks now. We have still our Angel on the shoulders, so slowly pushing up. Jagdtiger popping off. He might come back. He will come back. There he is. Hello, Jagdtiger. Switching to heat, not fussing around through its lower glacis. There we go. And the 95 finishes off. Thank you, Angel. So, where does all this stuff make the tanks stand in the pack of tier 8 heavies, which is a well-filled pack, obviously? It's not a tank, in my opinion, for positions like this usually. It's not a tank that is well suited to ridge fighting due to the poor gun depression, the not too shabby gun handling really. It is a tank that is suited to what I showed you on Desert Sands in the early game, what I'm going to show you on Desert Sands again in the next game. It is a tank that can side scrape fairly well. It is a tank that is meant to push hard and heavy, face front, rock hard, and hopefully get a bounce off those strong frontal plates. You can see it again here, heat cutting through. AP wouldn't have done it on the VK. And that frontal angle even gives me, and we have another one left at 1 AP, and he bumps into T95, hoping for a kamikaze. I don't know what he was thinking, but we win this game. Bit of a, well, scouting role, I think, in a tier 8 heavy, obviously. First class, Spartan medal, and a Confederate 117k of credits, 57 left, a lot of heat fired, 13 shots, 13 hits, 10 penetrations, good accuracy on that regard. And without further ado and a slightly failing voice, let's look at the armor profile. I'm driving the IS-6, as you can see, APCR at the front, lower glacis, panel, upper plate, not so much. There are a few weak spots available, as you can see, but the turret front 2 hatches, those are easily panned weak spots, as you can see. But if you angle that front and keep the lower glacis hidden, this is a force to be reckoned with. Turret size, the more you turn it, it becomes more pannable, it becomes more grey. Those weak spots are a problem in hit skin. I've tried it, as you can see here, with the IS-6. I've tried it also with the Indian Panzer, I think, and maybe even with the T-54. We're going to see that later. Those are the big weak spots over there. Yep, 405 solid alpha damage. You're probably in trouble when there is a Centurion who can aim easily on you, and as you can see, the sides, no problem whatsoever to go through with an IS-6 with a PCR. So that means rock hard, face front. That's what you have to do in this tank, otherwise you are in big trouble. Heat does go through small, I think, small bits of spaced armor on the sides, not very much, but APCR, as said before, will not go through the hatches. Driver hatches are weak spots too. We are not going to pan them in the IS-6, as you can see. But with the Indian we get up close and personal, and then it will be pannable. Getting up close and personal with the IS-6 too, you can see it is still slightly red. But with heat you can get through very, very easy. And that's what we'll do here. Boom. Again, straight through the front plate. Nice shot. IS-6 versus the Glacial 112 gives you this result. APCR will cut through. Heat will cut through, obviously. So let's drive the Indian Panzer now. AP rounds? Nope. That's a no-go. All red, 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 red. Getting up front, the Indian is a fairly tall tank, as you can see, and if you can aim those driver's hatches, you can cut through with AP those bits. Not so much, but the getting closer again, trying to do it again. Nope. We've just stained them. Lower glacis is pannable, popping on adrenaline, nothing you can do there. But the turret hatches, you can see it easily panned, and the Indian, it has an accurate gun, it has a fairly long aim time, but it would have no problem cutting through it again and again and again. The beak of the tank, where the lower and upper glacis join, that's a strong point, obviously. A bit like the pike nose on the IS-3 and the sides, which leads us to the T-54, which you will encounter probably quite a few times as well. This one, heat shots of AP shots on the cupolas, easily panning the turret. Lower glacis, no problem, and we are switching to heat, and then that front plate, well, everything will go through. You can see the turret might be bouncy, not very much. There are weak spots on the left side and the right side of the gun, but the turret is indeed the main feature of the tank. Get it hull down, get it into a position where you can wiggle around a bit and maybe make them shoot on the cupola, or not on cupolas, make them miss shots, bounce them. Cupolas are not as pronounced as on the American series of tanks like the E5, the E4, the E3, T71, but they are there, and they are bigger than on IS-6s and a lot bigger than on the Defender. Trying to see the angle at which heat will probably bounce, and we're going to try that again. There we go, that one bounces. You can see it as a small, very small strip of spaced armor. And this is the angle you will be wanting to get on the Glacial if you are engaging red tanks. Why is that? Your sides are weak, your back is weak, rock hard, face front, heavy tank. That's the gameplay, and as promised we are back on Desert Sands again. Take a look at the lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavies plus a tank destroyer plus a light tank. We are not going into the desert. The Reds have 2 heavy tanks, they have 3 tank destroyers. But that would mean if we push hard and one of the tank destroyers decides to go into the desert area, we will still have a 1 tank advantage here, and maybe even a 2 tank advantage. Hoping to get to the building and before any tank spots me. No, they won't spot me. You can see it AP on the IS-6. I can't even pan its cheek, its frontal hull cheek, which is a weak spot on the IS-6. But the pan numbers on this gun are just not there. Same goes for the T-32, which we will going to see in a few seconds because that front isn't easily panned to. Weak spots on the sides of the IS-6 gun are there as well. So we're going to shoot him there with heat, which is needed, and take a look at this AP round on the T-32 front. An angled front, but it's all red. We can shoot him on the tracks and track him in place, but he does the same to us. We have to think quickly here. Luckily our team helps us out by whacking that AT-15 and leaving that all shot to us. That's 1 kill. T-32 decides to, I don't know, take a shot on another tank. We can shoot him again. Nope, we're gonna shoot the Baltic. No shot available on the T-32. Would have been a waste to go in there and I would have been in massive trouble. Thank you T-32. Burning, burning, burning. And finish him off. Like I said on the Mines game, this is why you want the Glacial to be on flat ground, negating the lack of gun depression. There are no ridges to take into account, there are no spots where you can drive towards a tank and then unluckily hop over a ridge and needing a bit of gun depression, and it just isn't there. Slightly unlucky on the T-44, he catches that one nicely on the tracks. T-54 to our back, nope. The Baltic finishes off our RU and we have to drive back quickly here because the T-44 wants to get in. And he misses because we drive quickly. We do 10, I think, hit points on him. You can see it. Track damage straight into our front, finishing off the T-44. Nope, we can't finish off the T-44 and we are backing into cover. Jagdtiger, what are you doing? Seem to be AFK. No, he isn't. Switching to heat, you could see it again. AP round on the front of a Jagdtiger. It just doesn't cut it. And that T-44, he is desperately trying to find a spot to pen me. He has, I think, the wrong gun mounted on a T-44, 122mm gun. And it's at this moment that I suddenly realize I am on my way to get a Resenia. No, I'm not on my way to get a Resenia. Because the Tiger 2 finishes off the I-6. Can I get at least a pulse medal then? Hopefully, come on. Die, T-54, die. Yes. We finish him off. Can we kill the Baltic? No, we can't, but we are getting a Redley Waters medal to finish off the review and another ace game. My opinion on the 2 tanks, the Blaze and the Glacial, I think I'll be grinding for this one because it makes massive credits and it is a tank that kind of suits my play style. I don't like the lack of armor on the Blaze. This one is better as long as you keep it face front. It's rough, it's not a polished style of gameplay, but it's a good one and it makes good credits. Good luck all in hunting Lunar Charms, Dragon Tanks. Cheers, happy tanking. I'll catch you all on the next one.